Hello students, lecture 60. In this lecture we will discuss about the various ways in which MNCs control their production in other countries, foreign trade and integration of markets, that through foreign trade how markets are integrated, how markets come closer, factors that have enabled the globalization, meaning in globalization what are the factors playing important role, and the World Trade Organization, that is WTO. So first factor is that MNCs, ways in which they control their production in other countries. Point number one, it is a question that what are the or express various ways in which MNCs control their production in other countries. So point wise it can be explained. First point, large MNCs in developed countries place order for production with small producers, with local producers. Garments, footwears, sport items are examples of industries where production is carried out by large number of small production. Large number means in many at many places these production or these producers are manufacturing things. Second point to this is the products are supplied to MNCs. After making these products, those products are supplied to MNCs. Then MNCs use their name as a brand. MNCs use their name, their brand name, and then sell it to the markets, which then sell at a very high prices, and that determines the price, making price, and MNCs have tremendous power to decide prices and earn profit. So this is how MNCs make greater profits. Third point in this is MNCs also set up partnership with local companies by using the local companies for supplies, by closely competing with local companies or buying them up. MNCs exert a very strong influence on production at these distant locations. As a result, production in these widely dispersed locations is getting interlinked. That MNCs take different locations, distant locations, and then they give them supply orders, and finally after the product is produced, product is made, then that comes to the MNC, and then MNC sets its brand name and then decides the final price to be sold in the market, and this is how MNCs are able to earn greater profit. Next is foreign trade and integration of market. Foreign trade means for a long time the trade have been the main channel connecting countries. Silk routes, we can see the examples of silk routes. So trade routes connecting India and South Asia to markets in both Asia and West. Second point, foreign trade creates an opportunity for the producers to reach beyond the domestic markets, means the product are going outside their own local markets, that is the markets of their own country. Then producers can sell their products not only in the markets located in their country, but can also compete in international market. Similar it is for the buyers. Import of goods produced in other country is one way of expanding the choice of goods beyond domestic markets. In general, next point to this is, in general, with the opening of markets, goods travel from one market to another market. Choice of goods is also increased as variety of goods are available in the market. Price of similar goods in two markets tend to become equal, and in competitive terms, or if it comes in competition, then quality also increases. Quality wise and quantity wise, both are the important aspects. So, foreign trade thus results in connecting the markets or integrating the markets in different countries. Next comes a very important article of this chapter is that what has made the globalization faster, due to what factors the global process have become faster or possible. In this first factor can be explained is technology. Technology helps in the rapid movement of goods, faster production of goods, information about the goods. For example, if we take example from past 50 years, there have been many improvements in transportation technology, manufacturing technology, delivery of goods across long distances possible at lower cost. Today, this is the only technology that goods are coming to our doorstep, that many supplying company, Amazon, Flipkart, all these are the supplying companies which supply goods at our doorstep, and those goods you might be finding of high level quality, and prices are also compatible. Second factor, it is that IT and communication, information technology and communication, this also has played an important role. In recent time, technology in the area of telecommunication, computers, internet has been changing rapidly. For example, they are used to contact one another around the world, to get information, to take technological aspects information, including mobile phones, fax. They are instantly, and to communicate from remote areas as well. So now we cannot say that markets are farther. So IT and communication has brought the markets, what rural areas or what urban areas, all are very closer. Next is use of IT in globalization. How do we use IT, info technology? This can be explained by taking example of a magazine. A magazine for the people of London is printed in Delhi. Now, question will ponder to your mind that why magazine for London people is printed in Delhi? Three factors for this. Number one, availability of cheap labor. Number two, adequate technology. And number three, raw material. Number three, raw material and low cost of production. So these are the factors for that. So now that magazine is printed, and once magazine is complete, so that magazine is sent to London through air. It is airlifted, and even money is transferred online. So this is what is the use of IT in globalization. If question is asked, what is the use of IT in globalization? Such examples you can give and explain it. Any other example you can give, you can explain it. One, this example I have mentioned, given in your book also. Next is the liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. Liberalization means making the international trade or the borders open for international trade. This we will discuss in two phases. So we will discuss before 1990. Government of India put trade barrier before 1990 because three reasons were there. Our industries were yet not developed so much. Number two, so we needed to protect our industries from international competition. Number three, our home needs were not fulfilled. Technologically, industries were producing less amount of goods, so our home needs were not fulfilled. Third, to the quality, the industrial whatever production we had up to 1990, their quality was not of the international market level. Due to these three reasons, Government of India put trade barrier on many goods. although few goods were exported and imported in India. But after 1990, what had happened by 1990? Those three factors which we discussed earlier, industries developed quite, technology improved, now industries started producing surplus goods which need to be exported, and quality also improved. Now our goods were compatible to compete in the international markets. So this is why government of India put trade barrier before 1990, and after 1990 that trade barrier was removed. This is also an independent question, that why did government of India put trade barrier before 1990 and removed that same trade barrier after 1990. Meaning of trade barrier is clear, that restriction on export import, trade barrier. So last article of the lecture is World Trade Organization, WTO, popularly known as WTO. WTO is an international organization and it sets rules and regulations for international trade. It is the duty of WTO to control international trade. At present, 164 countries are the members of WTO. It is subjected to change. The members keep on changing. This organization was established in 1995 and its headquarters are located at Geneva in Switzerland. It is additional information, although note of that part. Second point about WTO is WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all. Free trade for all. But in practice, it is seen that all decisions are taken favorably by the major economic countries, that is America, European Union, Japan, because they have more share in WTO. These countries have their more share in WTO, and most of the controlling rights or the working rights are controlled by America. So, but due to that, sometimes WTO becomes partial and policies are favorable. So WTO frame rules and regulations for trade to advance their own interest and the own that is large member countries. Third, developing countries often complain about the non-transparency of WTO, and it is always pushed around the world by the big powers, and thereby the global factor is going to be means unfavorable, or it is in practice not fair. So in next lecture we'll discuss that why global trade is getting unfair and what should be done to make it more fairer. Thank you very much. Keep on watching.